Hey you guys, it's Brit. Tonight we're here to talk about the TikTok accounts, that is plural, that goes by the name of Sunnyside Adoption. And oh boy, this is a really terrible thing that is unfolding over on TikTok. It has to do with children's images being used without their proper consent. It ties back to family vloggers sharing their children online for weirdos like these people to go ahead and use their images and videos on other sites that are inappropriate. And this was brought to my attention by not only one of my amazing subscribers, but once I actually started watching the other videos on TikTok, I also realized that another TikToker that I do follow talked about this as well. So of course my description box will have some links in it for you guys. But if you're interested in hearing about Sunnyside Adoption and what's going on with this, please keep watching. Right, you guys, so obviously coming to you barefaced, I wanted to get this video done because this is actually a very important video. We can talk about all the lighthearted stuff all day and all night, every day of the week, but once in a while, I am going to come to you guys with videos that I want viewed. I hope that this video gets tons of views and tons of engagement. Share it if you can. Leave a like, leave a comment. I never ask for you guys to do that kind of stuff super directly like that, in the beginning of the video, but this is super important, and TikTok really needs to get a hold of people like this that are running pages like this and do something about it. It's absolutely vital that strangers are not allowed to use other children on their pages and spread this kind of just nonsense BS. Sunnyside Adoption, their main account has 36.8 thousand followers and they're following 11. They claim that they are role playing. That's not what this is. That's not what it is at all. They're constantly putting up videos and then deleting them, but not before people can share them and save them. I have a couple of videos over here that I will either insert in or play as I am talking, obviously protecting the identity of the children, of the images, the children's images that were used in these videos. I will protect that because this person surely did not. So I want to talk for a second about fan pages, quote, role play, whatever, these types of pages that are not using original content in order to get clicks and views online. I think that if you run a fan page for a celebrity, for a family vlogger, or for a child, you have a little too much time on your hands. And I want to be a little careful with the verbiage that I use to describe these people that run these pages, because I do want to recognize that I have heard of stories where the people running these pages are not well. And so I don't want to come down too hard because I also want to take that into consideration. But if you're running a fan page for a child, I don't think that I can give you the liberty of being gentle with that, because not only are you running a fan page for a child, but you're also saving that child's images to your personal devices, and you're editing those images and you're posting those images so that you can collect the likes and views off of a child that you don't know, you've never met, you're never going to meet, and you only know what the parents have told you about the child. And you feel so infatuated and so parasocially connected to this child that you want to run a fan page for the child. That's creepy and it's weird. And that's where I stand on it. As far as celebrity fan pages, I think those are a little weird too. Not gonna lie, it's not my thing. But specifically when it comes to minors, I have a really big problem with this. And I know that a lot of people will turn around and say, oh, well, it's definitely the parents' fault. Like the parents, yes, the parents are to blame. At the same time, the social media platforms need to interfere in situations like this where images are being so widely spread in order to say, okay, look, you're not allowed to just share images of a child who is not even your family member. You don't know this child. You're not allowed to have this child's images and videos on your fan page, your role play, whatever. This is not role playing, it's actually identity theft. It's improperly spreading images of minors online, and it's a big problem. So let's go over one of Sunnyside's videos here. More kids at Sunnyside adoption, and you can go through and you see these images that are clearly either off of Pinterest, some Instagram page that they came across, because these are very clearly, like if y'all spend any amount of time on social media, these are kids that you can easily come across. Like this is typical influencer child content, and you can say what you want about that, but it's pretty cookie cutter, and it's pretty easy to be able to identify what you might see on Pinterest versus what you might see one of your siblings share when they have a child on their Instagram. It's just a little bit of a different aesthetic. And this quote role play that they have come up with, this storyline for this little girl is the parents passed away and she's quote available to adopt or foster. They gave her a made-up name that's obviously not this child's name because this child is not up for adoption. The parents did not pass away. If this was my child, I would be fuming mad right now. And it just continues to roll on through. It says the next child's made-up name, their age, the story is, quote, working on it, and they're available to adopt or foster. And here's another one, an infant, and the, quote, story that they have made up is the parents didn't want her. Another story that is unknown, parents didn't want him, and it's supposed to be a sibling set. This is absolutely sick and twisted. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what kind of explanation you put behind it. I think that it's absolutely appalling that somebody puts up these fake stories paired with real images of real children. For what? Some clicks and views? And if you search Sunnyside adoption on TikTok, there are so many different accounts. You know, even if TikTok shut them down, like these people would have a new account so quickly. And it's actually super, super scary because on all of these videos, there are tons of shares. And obviously we know who's sharing them. Some people that are, you know, possibly doing a stitch or sharing their commentary about it, kind of like what I did. But for the most part, these are people that are just as sick and twisted as the person running this page. They are saving these images to their personal devices, and God knows where it's going to end up after that. Now, there was a video of the LeBrant kids on here, and I will show that. They just come up with these wild storylines. Parents didn't want the kids. Parents are dealing with addiction. Parents don't know where the parents are, don't know the story. I don't know what kind of satisfaction it could give you by running a completely made up adoption center, coming up with fake storylines. Like, I've heard of some weird role playing in my day. This is just disgusting. And there are so many of them. There are ones that say, DM me for a kid. Hate comments get deleted. It's just absolutely insane. Now, here's the other kind of side of this. If the social media pages are not going to do anything about it, which, let's be honest, by this point, I don't think that they will. I hope that we continue to see this change that we've seen with some influencers where they're choosing to not share their kids online. If they do share an image, the face is blocked or blurred out, and it's just how they're choosing to protect their kids. There's also this other article that I wanted to share with you guys, and I was going to save this for its own video, but I want to share it with you guys now because it ties in perfectly with this topic. This woman's children were digitally kidnapped, and this is super, super scary. This article came out a few days ago, and it says, "Mommy bloggers beware. Mother of two, Meredith Steele, 35, is warning parents to stop sharing photos of their children online after her family was, quote, digitally kidnapped. The terrifying phenomenon occurs when a stranger steals a parent's social media snaps to use on their own accounts and live out a fake life online. My kids had new names and new identities," Steele said of the ordeal. "They, the culprit, made their own captions and made their own lives. It was like they were playing Barbie dolls with my kids." And that's exactly what Sunnyside is doing. Using the images, coming up with fake names, fake storylines, just insane things that haven't even happened. These kids aren't for adoption. They're not up for foster. Like, what the hell are you thinking? It continued by saying, "This changed my mind about sharing stuff online." The Maine mama told Southwest News Service, "Mommy blog culture normalizes oversharing intimate personal details of your kids, and they are old enough to agree or disagree with it." Steele realized that her kid had been digitally kidnapped in June of 2021 when she said she was out to dinner celebrating her child's preschool graduation. At the time, she snapped a sweet photo of her and her family and posted it to Instagram. After the meal, a family friend who worked at the restaurant noticed two photos of their family tagged on the eatery's Instagram account, but only one was posted by Steele, which is the mother. The friend contacted Steele to let her know that the family's photos were being reshared on a separate account by a stranger who had made up their own fictional family with the mom's real-life images. "It was absolutely horrifying," Steele recalled, claiming that the imposter account had taken nearly 30 of their photos and built their own following of thousands by writing fake captions about special family memories. "These people have an emotional investment in my family," the mom stated. "I don't know who it was, but it was a real violation." Investigations into digital kidnapping found that the majority of those participating are teenage girls and young women using the photos to replay in a virtual game of make-believe motherhood. And even if they are minors, like, I can only excuse it for so long. Because you can't say, "Oh, well, because they're minors, then that makes it okay." No, there needs to be a big stop put to all of this. Period. And yes, it starts with the parents not sharing these images of their kids. You have to protect your kids far more than what most parents are doing online. And I'm so glad that we're seeing this shift because it is a really scary world that we're living in right now. The legality of digital kidnapping is not clear, but could result in real cybercrimes such as the identity theft of a child. Steele, who constantly shared photos of her family and their daily lives on her public Instagram page, reported the fake account, but the social media company failed to take action. The mom was eventually forced to block the account. "I felt like such a bad parent," admitting she had no concept of internet safety when she started sharing snaps of her young kids. "I learned this the hard way," she warned in a viral TikTok video about digital kidnapping. "It might sound dramatic until it's your kids." Steele has maintained her large social media following with over 900,000 TikTok followers, over 157,000 on Instagram, but has since removed all photos of her child's faces from social media. Make sure to no longer tag her locations after she's left a spot, until after she's left a spot. And this is what I've talked about too. Posting in real time. Posting in real time is an actual really, really big issue online. when you have these creators live streaming or posting to their stories and saying, hey, we're at this restaurant, we're at this museum, we're at this park, and you're posting that in real time and you're there with your kids, that literally gives people minutes to come to your location. They could be literally a block away and see that. We saw the whole Sun Kissed Mama and Just Fam thing. Even though that is not this, it's still the fact that Just Fam sharing her location with social media allowed Sun Kissed Mama to be the creeper that she was being that day and track her down. It was actually super, super scary. So posting in real time, telling people where you are ahead of time. This is why I constantly harp on Alicia Doherty about don't tell people where your kids are. Don't tell them where they go to school. Don't tell them the bus number and the bus schedule. Because we just don't live in a safe world where you can share that kind of stuff. And I don't think that it's going to get any better. So when parents know that and they continue to share locations and schedules and all this kind of stuff, that's why I get so upset about it. Something really bad is going to happen. It's just a matter of time. And it continued by saying the mother has now forbidden her children from having their own social media accounts and no longer grants permission for school and summer camps to take photos of the kids. She is definitely protecting her kids now. Meanwhile, research has found that 92% of American children have some type of online presence by the time they are 2 years old. But many people love to overshare personal details of their children's lives online. Steele is encouraging them to rethink so they don't have to go through what she went through. I want to protect people from the feeling of that, she declared. These little kids can't consent to be on that level of exposure. You will never see my kids' faces on social media again, the mortified mama continued, before adding that the experience helped her to have healthier boundaries when it comes to social media. So, of course, I will link her socials down below as well. And this is a really, really big deal. This is not okay. The amount of oversharing and just not having boundaries with strangers online, giving them this digital content of your kids, all of this kind of stuff matters. And even though I talk about the more lighthearted side of influencing some days, like I said, this is a very, very, very important topic. And if you think about everything as a whole, the privacy is one of the top concerns, at least for me. I can speak for myself. It's the privacy, it's the oversharing, it's feeling like something bad is going to happen at any moment in time. It's just going to take the wrong person at the right time, and we're gonna hear about something not good happening. And I don't like to try to negatively predict the future when children are involved, but I'm only going off of the fact pattern in the undeniable, picture that people are not good online. You have to protect yourself and you have to protect these kids. So as far as Sunnyside goes, is TikTok going to do anything? No. But should this be a very clear reminder to parents to stop sharing these images of your children? Because think about these images that Sunnyside is using. All these were parents putting their kids in little outfit of the days in order to get some clicks and views on social media. Were your clicks and views worth your child now having a fake storyline and being part of a quote role play weird Sunnyside adoption story center? Like, was it worth it? I'm pretty sure most people would say that no, it's not worth it. But think before you upload. It's not worth the clicks and views. It's not worth telling people where your kids go to school. It's not worth telling people, what their schedules are. This is a really big problem, and I will forever harp on people who choose to overshare, especially when they know the possible outcome that could unfold down the road and they continue to overshare. I'm looking at Alicia Doherty. I'm looking at Not Enough Nelsons. I'm looking at Colleen Ballinger. I'm looking at 8 Passengers. I'm looking at the LeBrants. The LeBrants had their kids' images as part of this Sunnyside shit show. I'm looking at all of them. It's a big problem. So either way, I wanted to bring this to you guys. This is just wild. And this woman who's, you know, digital kidnap story, like, it just all ties into this. I would say so perfectly, but it's sad. It's a sad, sad world that we're living in. And some people just continue to go ahead and put it out. And when you think about stuff like this too, and then you tie it to Alicia Doherty giving her 4-year-old child an iPad and an iPhone, along with all 11 of her other children, some who are very young, why are you applauding people like this? That is not being a good parent. And she might do some aspects of parenting in a good way, but guys, like, it's undeniable. A kid that is barely even in kindergarten does not need an iPad and an iPhone, access to the internet, and they already have their own Instagram as well. Run by mom. That doesn't count for shit in my book. But either way, that's going to be it for tonight. So if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.